Hey, gang. Good morning to you. I hope you're doing well this morning. Hello, hello. Good morning, all. Hope you're having a great Thursday. Weather is beautiful here. Hey, Vicky. Good to see you. I'm actually a little late, so good to see you. Had to reboot here to get things to fire up. So, hope you had a good time last night. I hope it was worthwhile. We had a great little gathering in the church and talked about some Lenten things and had some fabulous fellowship and some good lasagna. And so, if you want to know more about that, there's actually the link on a Facebook page about the video that we watched and discussed. And really great discussion, just really beautiful and kind of depth of thought around some of the stuff. So thankful for the chance to gather last night. It was really beautiful. So, but if you want to watch the video, it's on our Facebook page. You can check that out as a way of kind of getting ready for this Lent thing that's coming in a couple weeks. Should you choose. So, hey, Linda, good morning to you. Glad you're here. Thank you for all your support yesterday. Yvette, good morning. John, hello, hello. Hope things in the Northwoods are good. It is beautiful here. I bet it's 46 degrees outside right now and sunny. It feels like summer. Sharon, good morning to you. Glad you're well. Hope you're here. Hope you're having joy in your day. So, good morning, everybody. Let's step into this journey on this Thursday, this 11/11. So it is the 10th day of February on Thursday at 11/11, and I am glad that you are with us. I always begin with my gratitude for you all because it is real and true and good. That I'm so thankful that you're a part of this journey. You're not only an encouragement to me whenever you show up, but but it is a joy to journey with you, to spend a little time together. So I want to talk about eyes this morning, and particularly the way we see. Jesus says this, and this is from the Gospel of Matthew. So Matthew records Jesus' words this way. He says this. He says, "The eye is the lamp of the body. So if your eye is healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light in you is darkness, how great is the darkness?" This notion of how we see, this picking out the idea of the light and the notion of how we might see the world and how we might see the things around us, or how we might even see the things within us, is, I think, one of our critical things to do. One of our critical ways to understand the world. One of the core competencies. We have to consider what we look at. Now, let's talk about eyes for a second, because I think how they work is actually fascinating to me, and kind of contrast it with how ears work, if you think about it for a minute. So ears are just on. The great Marshall McLuhan has said, that you have eyelids, but you don't have earlids. And it's this great kind of observation that the sound is just what happens to us. You step into a noisy room, maybe you can plug your ears, or you can, if you're in my case, you can turn your hearing aids off, but you can't really block that out. It's inundating you. It is something that's happening to you. But eyes are a different matter. Our eyes we have the ability to look away or even not see. And even actually we can see things, there can be things right in front of us and we cannot see. Just ask my wife when I'm looking for the mayonnaise in the refrigerator. It can be right in front of me, and I still, hey, where's the mayonnaise? And yeah, I'm loose. I'm useless. That we all do this. There's this ability to have things right in front of us, but yet not see them. which is quite the difference with hearing, quite the difference with sound. Sound inundates us. Sound gets us. Sound penetrates us whether we want it or not. But the eyeball, if you think about how our eyeballs work, you have all this stuff out here on the periphery. Some of us have better peripheral vision than others, but we have all this stuff, which is, if you think about how you're seeing my face right now, there's all this stuff that is really fuzzy around the edges. Like, you can't necessarily read anything that might be over here on the sides. You can't really see anything, but there is a central part that you can focus on. There's a central piece that you can bring your attention to. And that spot that you can see clearly, whether you have your glasses on or not, but the part that you can manipulate your eyeballs enough so that you can actually make focus and reality out of, that you can make some sense out of, rather than just kind of a big blurry blob off around the edge, outside of the edges of your vision. That is 1/30,000th of all that is actually in your frame of vision. You can focus. I want you to hear this, because I think that it is critical to our spiritual life. The way our biological life mirrors this. I think it's actually one of the greatest powers that God has given us, is this ability of focus, of what we will, of being able to manipulate and choose that which we will look at. Our eyeballs, when it focuses on something, the thing that it's focusing on is 1/30,000th of all that you can see. 1/30,000th of all you can see. Consider this for a moment for your spiritual life. Consider this for a moment for your walk with God. Consider this for a moment of just what it is to move through a day. Like any part of the day, of what's the big emotions that are going on inside of you, the thoughts that are kind of gnawing away in your skull, or even the maybe the pains in your body, or the difficulties that you're dealing with in your physical reality. All of it, you have an attention to give to. You have a sight that you can bring to bear, and I would be even surprised if we can bring 1/30,000th of our attention to what we can actually focus on and see and understand. And that the reality of this is that it comes from within us in many ways. Our ability to see, and this is what because it's generated out of this lampstand, really. Think about Jesus' words, how he frames this, and that the eye is the lamp of the body. Wait, the eye is the lamp of the body? So if your eye is healthy, your whole body will be filled with light. What we choose to focus on, what we choose to give our 1/30,000th of attention to, what we gaze upon, what we give time and talent and energy to penetrate into us. Because remember, these are receptor organs. There's light that's shining out, and it's bouncing off of something, and it's coming back into it, and unlike our ears, where we don't necessarily get to choose what we hear, although I've been accused of having selective hearing, but we really do have this sense of being able to choose that which we will focus on in our sight. And in fact, we do it all the time. It is organic to us. And I would say it is organic to us in our spiritual walk too. That the lamp of the body, that the lamp of our being, the lamp, where the light is going to come from is going to come through the eye. We've always heard the old quote that, the eyes are the windows of the soul. Well, if we're gazing into those eyes and that they tell us something about what's going on inside the person, it's because that what's going on inside the person is being focused on. That what's in us is what tells our eyes to look somewhere, to be attentive to something, or it tells our eyes to look away. That's not worthy of that which is within us. That's not what we're going to give our energy and our attention to. That our eyes are these ways of manifesting the light that is within us. They really are this lamp, because we're going to point it almost like a spotlight. We're going to point them at the things that we will become or we will not become. One of the things about riding a motorcycle, if any of you have ever ridden a motorcycle or spent any time riding a motorcycle, and one of the things you kind of begin to understand, and particularly important for new riders, is that unconsciously, largely, and you have to be a very good rider to overcome this, is that where you look is where the bike is going to go. Where you give your focus to is where the bike's going to go. And so often new riders on motorcycles will hit every pothole because they'll be driving down the road and you'll have 12 feet of open highway and 1 foot of pothole, but that dark pothole takes their attention and you'll drive right for it. That it's uncanny how this happens in an early way, and often riders will learn either to look away and to let that guide them around it, or they'll learn that they can actually look at something and guide the bike. But it's a very difficult thing to do, and it's a very intentional thing that we have to do. The eyes have it in guiding our spiritual life. They really do. The great psychologist Carl Jung says this. He says, "Your vision will become clear only when you can look inside your own heart. And who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes." If we keep looking outside at the shiny thing, if we keep looking outside at the things that would distract us, if we keep looking outside at the pothole, if we give our tiny 1/30,000th of sight to the darkness and to the things that will drag us away, we will end up living in falsity. We will end up living in dreamland. We will end up living outside of the really real, outside of the logos. Not because we want to, but because it's guided. It guides us there. It takes us where our attention will go. But the one who looks inside awakes. That when we give our heart attention, when we hear the words of Jesus and we understand that the eyes are a lampstand, that the eyes are actually blazing out what is in our heart, and when that's permitted to take place, when the love and the joy and the goodness that dwells within us is actually and the hunger for the good, the true, and the beautiful are allowed to focus and to run the focus of our life, we look towards that the whole world is illuminated. Or as Jesus says, your whole body will be filled with light. Now, do we have to get this right all the time? Who knew? Oh, heck no. I sure hope we don't, because I don't. But it is, I think, this basic and foundational awareness that the eyes have it. That the eyes of where we look from, whether within our heart or whether outside at all, the shiny and the sparkly and the big things that would carry us away, are the very things that God is seeking to invite us out of. Is seeking to invite us out of the darkness, out of the heartbreak, out of the pain, out of the always looking towards the dark things, but to let our whole body be filled with light. So my invitation for you today is look at where your vision is, where you're looking. Be attentive to it. Be attentive to where you give this tiny gift of your attention. Like it's a tiny amount. 1/30,000th of your eyeball sight that you can see, you can concentrate on. And I doubt it's that great in your heart and your soul. But if you find yourself, and these are days that we are prone to this, friends. These are days that this is easy to do. We are prone to look towards the dark. We're prone to look towards the pothole. We're prone that the world is pregnant with shiny and beautiful things, all waiting to take us away, take our attention away from our heart, take our attention away from the things that matter, take our attention away from that which we are called to look at, to be, and to do by Christ Jesus. The great Henry Bergson said that the eyes only see what the mind is prepared to comprehend. You know, sometimes we don't want to look at things. Sometimes we just would rather look away. But I want to invite you that you're not looking alone. In a way, that all life comes from the very thing that we can't look at, as Plato had said. That the very thing that we can't look at, the sun. We can't look at the sun, and yet all life comes from it. The plants, the animals, everything, all good things, all warmth on this planet, every breath of wind, every wave that's ever been made, every plant every creature that's ever crawled on the earth, they're sustained by the light of the sun. No light, none of it. And yet we can't even look at it. You can't even gaze on the sun. That we're not in this by ourselves. We're provided for in this. And so look to your heart and know that you're not the only one in charge of what you're looking at. There are guides that you know that if you need to, that if there are things that are too bright to look at or maybe too hard to look at, that's okay and that's all right. But that our vision and should just be about us remembering and us knowing that this tiny gift, this 1/30,000th of our ability to focus on any one thing for any amount of time, is so precious and so small and so short and yet so powerful in the transformation of our lives when we let it be the lamp of the body, when we let it shine forth the love of the heart of Christ, when we let it shine forth the goodness that God has placed within us, and let the very kingdom of heaven come through us into this world. The eyes have it, friends. Let your sight be true and good and whole in these days. All right, friends, that's my hope for you today. We are coming up on this next Sunday. We're going to be worshiping right here at 10 a.m. And this is Super Bowl Sunday. So not only is it the Super Bowl where some crazy teams that nobody cares about are going to be playing, but it is also this opportunity to bring together in our mission efforts. Churches all around the country are bringing cans of soup to their local food pantries, and we're participating in this. We actually have a pile of food out there already. If you want to participate and be a part of helping Gates of Hope food pantry here in town, pick up a can of soup on your way to worship on Sunday. Be great to see you.